This episode of Quite Frankly was made possible by our friends from MacFun. Great photo editing software for Mac. Go to our special MacFun community website for exclusive deals just for you guys.
Hey guys, and welcome to this episode of Quite Frankly. Now, one of the most asked questions probably during workshops is about tethered shooting. Now, what is tethered shooting and why is it so important? Well, normally when you shoot with your camera, you have this big digital Polaroid on the back. And that's where you can see your images, right? So let's say I take a picture of our camera girl, then there we have the picture, and I can see it in the back. Actually with the Sony we can also see it in the EVF, which is great. But the digital Polaroid isn't always the way that you want to go. Now let's say you have a lot of people in your studio, you have clients, or you're teaching a workshop. You of course want the people to see the images on a big screen. And you don't want to go like this, ding ding, okay look, see, great image, see this, yeah, great. You don't want that, you want it on a big screen. So you have to connect your camera to your computer, Mac or PC, laptop, and you want to get the pictures on there. Now there's several ways to do this. You can of course shoot wirelessly. You can use i5 cards, you can use several adapters for your camera, for Nikon and Canon, there's special grips. And of course with the Sony you can use an app called Smart Remote. But wireless, well, it can be a little bit flaky, especially on location, and you can't transport RAW files. And of course we want to transfer the RAW files. Now there are times when JPEGs are enough, but most of the time we want to transfer RAW files. So you need raw power. Now what is raw power? That's your USB connection of course. And in the old days we actually also used FireWire. Or for example with Nikon I think they even had Cat5 solutions, network cable. But nowadays we use USB. So the best thing you can do is use the USB port on your camera, connect the cable and use software to your liking. Personally, I like Capture One because Capture One is very stable with tethering and very fast. But you can also use Lightroom. In Lightroom it's very simple to set up. You just go into tethered setup and you can start tethering. I won't show you that in this video because this is about a new product that we just got in and I just want to share with you guys, but we still want to give a lot of tips about tethering of course. So, what is important on your camera side? The connectors are very fragile inside the camera. So that means that if you yank on your cable by accident, you can actually destroy the port in your camera, and that's a very expensive repair. Think about 500 or 600 euros. For you dollar guys, that's a lot more. So yeah, and you miss your camera for a long while. So make sure you have something that's actually on the camera, securing it, that your cable doesn't give all the force on the port. Now Tethertools has a really great product for this called the jerk stopper. Sony actually got this. And you just screw it in and you route the cable through here and put it in the port. So that's a really cool solution. But from Tethertools you can use the jerk stopper and that works pretty well. So now what do you use? Well, you can use a normal standard USB cable of course. And Tethertools for example has the orange ones. And we love the orange ones because hey, I'm Dutch. Now if you want more than one cable, well, you can use extension cables, but that's where the problem comes in. Now the normal cables are about 4.7 meters, that's almost 5 meters. That's a long run, but in a bigger studio, well, you need a little bit more. So you can use one extension cable. Often one extension cable goes okay, but some cameras, well, they have problems. So in the old times, listen to this, the old times, it's like 2 weeks ago we still use this. You use the so-called Tether Boost, the USB 3. Now this was also used for certain Nikon cameras because Nikon has a problem with certain cameras who need a little bit more power than for example a MacBook can provide, especially when it's running on batteries. So it will be a little bit flaky, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So you use this device to actually boost that power to the camera and make sure that it worked. Now how does it boost? Well, it's a lot of technical stuff and you don't really need to know it. Now if it doesn't work, or for example you have a camera that also can charge via USB, that's where actually this little pack came in. This is a battery pack. Now you can connect it to the booster and it actually means that when I'm shooting for example with my Sony camera, it actually charges the battery during shooting. And it also means that if I shoot with my Phase 1 camera or leave Mamiya, that it actually charges the battery. That's really cool. And the battery runs, well, almost all day. So that's a really cool solution. The problem was with this one, it has a USB 3 connection, and USB 3 connection over time, especially when it got a little bit wear of tear, could get a little bit flaky. Sometimes it disconnected and you had to put the cable back in. At one point we actually used a screwdriver to just make it a little bit tight again. Great solution, but with a lot of wear and tear, not so great. And another cable. So Tethertools came with an amazing new solution, and that's what I want to share with you today. It's the new Tether Boost Pro. Now this one is literally awesome, because this one replaces this one, including a cable. And that saves you a lot of trouble during the photo shoot, because this one with a cable and this one is a lot smaller. You see this? And there's a little LED that will actually turn bright blue. Let me see where the LED is. The LED is actually here, and it will turn bright blue when you have a connection. Now, how many do you need of this? Well, if you only use a Nikon D810 or any other camera that has power issues, and if you have a camera with power issues, the problem is that sometimes it works and sometimes it just loses connection, and sometimes the images come in way too late, sometimes some images miss. That's a power problem. So if you have a camera with a power problem, you connect this to your MacBook or your Mac, and straight after that you use your cable to your camera. Now if you have a camera that uses different extension cables, we actually experimented here and we put it at the end of the chain. So meaning I'm using one extension cable from the computer to another extension cable from Tethertools, then into the Tether Boost Pro, and then the final cable into my camera. So I'm running 3 cables from 5 meters. That's 15 meters, and it works flawlessly. Even when I shoot on high speed mode, all the images come in flawlessly. So this product, I can highly recommend it if you have any problems with tethering or if you have power issues with your computer. And on the other hand, tethering, if you're used to it, it's an awesome solution. So I will show you the box very quickly. So it's the new Tether Boost Pro from Tethertools, and for tethering solutions, without a doubt, great product. Oh yeah, but before we go, we also have to address some other stuff. If you connect cables, it's always possible that the cable comes loose, right? So you're running through the studio and at one point, knack, the cable came loose. And there's no solution that can help you with a cable that's disconnected. So how do you make sure that those cables stay connected? Of course you can use gaffer's tape or duct tape, but that looks a little bit weird, right? In your professional studio with all the new gear. So Tethertools also has this, and this is a really cool extension lock. So what actually happens is you put the cable in on both sides and you just connect it like this. And now it's very, very tight and it can't come loose. The other thing is that a lot of people will ask, is this the only thing in the box with the Tether Boost? Tether Boost? No, of course not. There's way more in the box. I'll show you very quickly on the back. In the box you can actually also find the power adapter. So if you need even more power or you want to charge during the shoot and you don't want to use the battery pack, you can also use, of course, your normal power outlet. Make sure that you order the Tether Boost kit in the country where you live. For the very simple reason, there are different versions, of course. You have European versions, American, English, and all the different power plugs. So that's also in the box. And of course the jerk stopper extension lock. And you can also get another version where you actually also get the battery. So go online for your local Tethertools dealer and see which option you want to use in your studio to make sure that you can shoot tethered without any problems. And this was really the end of this episode of Quite Frankly.